to Bedlam in Boston Garden. Standing ovation as the Celtics are about to be introduced. They have come from behind in dramatic fashion in the last two games to force this deciding game. And keep in mind, only 3 teams in the history of the league have come from a 3-1 deficit to win. Billy Cunningham and his opposite number, Bill Fitch, Irving, Caldwell Jones, Dawkins, Hollins will be watching to see how he reacts to the headaches he's had. And Mo Cheeks, or Cheeks' headaches, we should say. Hollins in the backcourt with him. And for the Boston Celtics, we'll be checking Tiny Archibald's ankle. They tell us he's all right. He teams with Parrish, Bird, and Maxwell up front, and Chris Ford in the backcourt. And the Sixers knew that Tiny would be a factor. Cheeks driving baseline, blocked by Bird, and is picked off by Boston. Maxwell, Larry Bird with a block shot. Tiny all alone for the moment. Boston relentless on the offensive boards, taking the lead by 1 point.
Get on the defensive boards. Larry Bird's getting too many offensive rebounds.
Sixers took leads of 17 in Game 4, 10 in Game 5, and 17 in Game 6. As Maxwell hits his second field goal, and what a quietly efficient performer he's been. It's a little extra pass inside. Celtics coming back. Tiny, Ford, Maxwell. Good passing by Archibald and Ford, setting up Cornbread, who has 6 points. Cheeks, the spark plug, the playmaker. He penetrates. Maxwell got a piece of that ball. No foul call. Caldwell Jones goes in, and he charges. They call traveling on Caldwell Jones. Parrish. Ball stripped away by Mo Cheeks. 3-on-2, but Maxwell gets back into the flow, and a wild toss, and it's deflected by Boston, and it's to go. Ford gets it to Bird. Overplaying was Bobby Jones, but Maxwell is there for the offensive follow-up. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Caldwell Jones, Bird overplaying. Bobby loses the ball out of bounds, and the Celtics will have the last shot of the period. Here's an unsung hero. He was our MVP of game number 5 or 6. Cornbread Maxwell. Bird fires it up. In and out. Roby, the rebound, no good. Tipped up and in by Maxwell. With 1 second to play, and that'll do it. And as ML Carr emerged in the last 2 games with his defense. He'll be on Tony, of course. Maxwell shooting over Caldwell Jones. 12 points for Cornbread Maxwell.
Philly's got 2 seconds to get the last shot off. That's plenty of time for a shot.
Hollins loops it in. It's knocked away by Maxwell, and that'll do it for the first half. The Boston crowd is applauding, even though they're down by 7. Finds Dawkins. Double team. Dawkins off the rim, no good. Maxwell. Just as Irving did it on the other end earlier.
Sensational play by Bird.
2 great superstars going at each other on the other end of the floor. Maxwell inside gets the bucket. And the Celtics trailing by 5. With
Philadelphia could use outside shooting out of their guards. It could really help them.
Hollins falls down. Tiny misses the shot inside. Maxwell controls. Dawkins and Tiny are on the court. Now Roby. No good. Tiny knocked away. Still Boston ball. Last touch by Irving. And this is an incredible game. You've been in many 7-game playoff tilts. Anything like this as Bobby Jones comes back.
This is super because it's so physical. If you have to want it to be out there on the floor the way they're banging heads out there.
4 seconds. Ford threw it up. Maxwell out of the crowd. Spins. What a play by Cornbread. Cornbread Maxwell, 16 points, becomes the leading scorer for Boston. Celtics can cut it to 3. They do, and look at that touch.
It's got to be timeout for Philadelphia right here. Billy did call the timeout. But Cornbread Maxwell has just had a great series and showing to everybody right now that he's one of the better forwards in the NBA. He does everything quietly on both ends, offensively and defensively. He's been terrific in this game.
It'll only be major, Kevin, if Philadelphia loses this playoff.
Exactly right.
3-point lead with 3:10 to go. Hollins penetrating, blocked by Maxwell. Here's Tiny. They go to Maxwell. Not this time. Nicks the rebound. Hollins has Tony on the left, intercepted by Maxwell. They're playing end-to-end offense, defense. Second to go, and that'll do it for the 3rd quarter. And we have an altercation. Bobby Jones, and now both benches start to come over to the corner of the Boston Celtics bench. Bobby Jones is in a sea of white jerseys over there, Kevin. What started it?
I'm really surprised Bobby Jones being there, but Steve Mix got into an altercation with one of the Boston players. It's under control. Nothing really happened. They just taking Mix away. But I think it was Steve Mix. I'm not sure which Boston player, but Mix definitely.
Guarded by Irving. What does that do to Irving's offense? Hasn't hurt him so far. Maxwell inside is fouled. And I'll tell you, I got to give Maxwell credit because he is relentless, following up with a second effort. Boston Garden silent right now as Philadelphia taking the game to the Boston Celtics, who come out with it. 2-on-2. Maxwell to inside. Fouled by Bobby Jones. Larry Bird will defend. Here it is. It's over. The Boston Celtics have won it, and they go crazy at Boston Garden. And Larry Bird is right in the middle. He's the eye of the hurricane, known as the Boston Celtics, who spotted the Philadelphia 76ers 3-1. And the Sixers, due to the Philadelphia club, or the Celtics do to Philly what they did in '68, Kevin. You got to give them credit for taking it game at a time, one at a time, and they managed to beat an excellent club, Philadelphia.
Tremendous emotion, a great series with great players. You couldn't possibly ask more from basketball. Now Houston's waiting for Boston. That also will be a great series.
Well, the Boston Celtics have dominated the Houston Rockets. But before we talk about Houston, we'll tell you that 5 of these playoff games were decided by a total of 8 points, and literally, there's little to choose between the two. But the Boston Celtics will go on to meet the Houston Rockets.